Well, I couldn't just go back to guarding at that abrupt end. To see what happened when Catherine fell from the ledge. Chapter 10, The Tooth of Destiny. Falling to your death is a strange and unsettling sensation. Your mind becomes very sharp. Time seems to slow down. You're able to think an incredible number of thoughts at astonishing speed. These were Catherine's thoughts for the 3.5 seconds before she came in contact with the cobblestone courtyard of the lunar lapidary. These are her thoughts. Oh, 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 falling. I'm falling. Falling. Not good. Maybe I'm not falling. Please, 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 please say I'm not falling. Wrong. Falling. Falling fast, 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 fast. Slow down. Can't. Not good. Okay. Think, how do I stop? I don't know. Okay. I hate gravity. Gravity. Hate gravity. Hair's in my mouth. My hair. Yuck. Spit. Okay. Hair's out of mouth. Falling. Still falling. A tear. Why was Nightlight holding a tear? Sad, real sad that I'm falling. Where is everybody? There are flying people everywhere in this place. Flying people, help now, right now. I'm your falling friend here. Falling fast. I mean it. Where are all my magic flying friends? Hello, falling Catherine. Could use a hand now. Is that Nightlight? Can't tell. Oh no. Turning, falling fast, down, ground, coming, not good, ground, happy thoughts, kittens, chocolate, baby mice, family, friends, family, favorite pillow, friends, favorite pillow, north, home brick, moon, bunny mun, north, nightlight, save me. Then as she screamed and thought her life was ended, her chin came into contact with the cobblestone courtyard and she suddenly stopped falling. Nightlight had caught her left foot. He was floating. So now Catherine was as well, or almost. Her chin nicked against a cobblestone, but the rest of her was held aloft. For a moment she was speechless, and when she did try to talk, she found it difficult. There was something small and hard in her mouth, like a pebble. She instinctively spit it onto the ground beneath her. Out bounced not a pebble, but a tooth. Her tooth. Her last baby tooth. And before she could even say ouch, chimes rang out as every bell in the lunar lapidary began to toll. And suddenly, the entire troop of llamas and the yetis were surrounding her Nightlight. They were chanting and bowing and chanting. Most auspicious, said the Grand High Lama. A tooth, said a child, said the taller one. Of a guardian child, said a roundish one. A lost tooth, said the shortest one. The tooth, said the Grand High Lama with a touch of awe, of destiny. Then they started up bowing and chanting again. Nightlight gently lowered Catherine to the ground, then helped her up, and together they stood baffled. And she's pointing to her mouth where her tooth had been, her last baby tooth. But even more baffling to Catherine was the strange look on Nightlight's face. He was trying to hide it, but he didn't know how. He was so confused by all that was happening and how close he'd come to losing Catherine. She was growing up. Nightlight's worst fear, his only fear, coming true. He did not understand growing up. He did not know if he could grow up, and he did not want to be left behind if she did. But he had saved her, and as she placed her finger in the empty spot where the tooth had been, he knew that everything would be different. But there was only one thing he could do: smile at the gap in her grin. Chapter 11, A Teasing Tale of Teeth and Terror. It took North, Ombrick, and Bunnymund a few minutes to shift gears from planning a new golden age to understanding the importance of Catherine's lost tooth. They had gathered in conference in the Lamadary library where the lunar llamas filled the chamber, presenting Catherine and her tooth with the great pomp and circumstance, proclaiming it a lost tooth of destiny. A lost tooth of destiny. Bunnymund was particularly vexed by the interruption. Catherine is unharmed. Then, what is all this fuss about a tooth? He asked, one ear twitching. It isn't actually lost. She holds it in her hand, and now she'll grow another one. It's all very natural and frankly rather ordinary. It's not like she lost a chocolate truffled egg or something, or anything. Then the Grand High Lama described Catherine's fall and hairbreadth rescue. Bunnymund felt a twinge of shame. He didn't mean to discount Catherine's terrifying accident, but still, a tooth is just a tooth. The llamas pressed on. We llamas do not have baby teeth to lose, explained the Grand High Lama. At least not before recorded time, added the shortest Lama. And we've never had a child at the Lamadary, said the tallest Lama. Who's lost a child's tooth, said the least ancient Lama. So we've never been visited by Her Most Royal Highness, stressed the Grand High Lama. The mention of a Most Royal Highness piqued everyone else's collective interest. Her Most Royal Highness who? Asked North, certain that if this personage dwelled on this continent, he'd likely stolen something from her in his crime-filled youth years. Ombrick leaned forward, also eager to hear the Lama's answer. The Grand High Lama actually looked shocked at their ignorance. Actually looked shocked by their ignorance. Why? Her Most Royal Highness Queen Toothiana, gatherer and protector of children's lost teeth. Well, that raised eyebrows from every one of them, everyone except Bunnymund. Oh, her, he said dismissively. She dislikes chocolate. She claims it's bad for children's teeth. He sniffed. For confectionary's sake. They all fall out anyway. But Ombrick, North, and especially Catherine wanted to know more. I've read something about her once, I believe, Ombrick was saying, trying to remember, when a quiet cough interrupted him. They all turned. Mr. Qwerty was standing on one of the library's moon-shaped tables. Mr. Qwerty knows something, Catherine said. The bookworm bowed and told them. The story of the Queen of Toothiana lies in volume 6 of Curious Unexplainables of the East. Of course. The bookworm bowed and told them. The story of the Queen Toothiana lies in volume 6 of Curious Unexplainables of the East. Of course, I should have remembered that myself, Ombrick said, nodded. Mr. Qwerty, please enlighten us. The guardians sat around the table while Mr. Qwerty began his tale. To know the story of Queen Toothiana, he said, you must first hear the tale of the Maharaja, his slave Harum, and the Sisters of Flight. Sisters of Flight, Martha interrupted. Sisters of Flight, Mr. Qwerty repeated patiently. The image of a beautiful winged woman appeared on one of Mr. Qwerty's pages. She was human-sized, with long, willowy arms and legs and a heart-shaped face, but her wings were magnificent and she held a bow and arrow of extraordinary design. Can she really fly? Catherine asked in awe. It's the picture of Mr. Qwerty's page. Please allow me to tell the tale, Mr. Qwerty said. The Sisters of Flight were an immortal race of winged women who ruled the city of Punjab High Low, which sits atop the steepest mountain in the mysterious lands of the farthest east. An army of noble elephants stood guard at the base of the mountain. No humans were allowed to enter, for the mountain's jungle was a haven for the beasts of the wild, a place where they would be safe, where they could be safe from men and their foolishness. Honeyman's nose twitched. Men are certainly full of that, he agreed. North's nostrils flared, ready to argue with the puka, but Mr. Qwerty quietly continued. Toothiana's father was a human by the name of Haroon. He had been sold at birth into slavery as a companion for a young Indian Maharaja. Despite being slave and master, the Maharaja and Haroon became great friends, but the Maharaja was a silly, vain boy who had his every wish and whim granted. Yet this did not make him happy, for he always wanted more. Haroon, who had nothing, wanted nothing, so was very content. Secretly, the Maharaja admired his friend for this. For his part, Haroon admired the Maharaja for knowing what he wanted, getting it. Catherine scooted closer to Mr. Qwerty, peeking at the images of Haroon and the Maharaja that now appeared on his page. How had a slave become the father of a queen? Mr. Qwerty straightened his pages and continued. The Maharaja loved to hunt and slay all the animals of the wild, and Haroon, who never tired of watching the powerful elegance of wild creatures such as tigers and snow leopards, was an excellent tracker. But he hated to see the animals killed. So when that moment came, he always looked away. As a slave, he could do nothing to stop his master. And so, with Haroon tracking, the Maharaja killed every one of every beast in his kingdom. And Mr. Qwerty kind of lost his voice there for a moment. Oh, killed every one of every beast in his kingdom, lining the palace walls with their heads as trophies. But the one animal the Maharaja coveted most continued to elude him. In the high mountain land ruled by the Sisters of Flight, there dwelled one creature that no slave, man, or ruler had ever seen, the flying elephant of Punjab High Low. Catherine was impressed. A flying elephant? Mr. Qwerty nodded. Indeed, a flying elephant. The Maharaja was determined to do anything to have one for his collection. But every time he tried to force his way up the mountain, the elephant army at its base turned him back. He realized that he must find another way to reach Punjab High Low. In those ancient times, no man had yet discovered the mystery of flight, but after demanding advice from his wizards and soothsayers, the Maharaja learned a secret. Children can fly when they dream, and when the moon shines brightly, with their dreams can become so vivid that some of them come true. Sometimes the children remember, but mostly they do not. That is why children sometimes wake up in their parents' beds without knowing how they got there. They flew. The wizards told the Maharaja a second secret. At this, Mr. Qwerty lowered his voice, and all the guardians leaned closer. The memory of everything that happens to a child, the memory of everything that happens to a child is stored in that child's teeth. And so, Maharaja's wizards gave him an idea, fashion a craft, the lost teeth of children, and commanded to remember how to fly. Maharaja sent out a decree throughout his kingdom stating that every child lost a tooth must be brought to his palace. His subjects happily complied, and it was not long before he had assembled a craft unlike any other the world had ever known. Once again, an image formed on one of Mr. Qwerty's blank pages. It was of a ship of gleaming white, fashioned from thousands of interlocking teeth. It had wings on each side of an oval gondola. The inside was lined with sumptuous carpets and intricately patterned pillows, and a single lamp hung from a mast to light the way. Meanwhile, the Maharaja ordered Haroun to make an archer's bow of purest gold and one single ruby-tipped arrow. When the weapon was finished, the Maharaja ordered Haroun to join him aboard the craft. Then he said these magic words: "Remember the flights of magic nights." There they are in the craft ship flying machine made out of children's teeth. And just as the royal wizards had promised, the craft flew silently through the sky over the jungle, past the elephants, guarded Punjab high low. They descended from the clouds and flew into the still sleeping city in the misty dawn. The Maharaja could hardly tell where the jungle ended and the city began, but Haroun, used to seeking out tracks, spotted some he had never seen before, tracks that could only fly. Although they looked similar to a normal elephant's, his keen eye saw one addition, an extra digit pointing backward like that. It did not take long to find the flying elephant sleeping in the nest in the low-lying limbs of an enormous tree. The Maharaja raised the golden bowl and took careful aim. The tip of the ruby arrow glittered in the first rays of Haroun looked away. Suddenly there came an intense cacophonous alarm, as if every creature in Punjab high low knew of the Maharaja's murderous intent. Charging down from the towers above came the sisters of light, wings outstretched with all manner of weapons to the ready, swords, razor sharp daggers, fantastical flying spears, with wings of their own. It was a sight so beautiful, so terrifying, that the Maharaja groaned. Then the Maharaja raised his bow again, this time aiming it at the sisters of light. "Look, Haroun." And even greater prize, he exclaimed, in that single moment, the whole life changed. He knew for the very first time what he wanted. He could not bear to see his sister of light. He ordered the Maharaja to stop. Maharaja paid his servant. No, he let loose the arrow. Stopped it. Its tip pierced his chest. He gripped the ground. stared in shock, then kneeled beside his fallen friend. Weeping, he tried to stop the flow of blood, but could not. For blood dying. The sisters of flight landed around them. The most beautiful of sisters, the one the Maharaja had meant to kill, approached. We did not know that any man could be so selfless, he said. Her sister nodded. With one hand, she grabbed the arrow, plucked it from his chest, and kissed her fingertips and gently touched his wound. Bruised her. His eyes fluttered open. All he could see was the face of the sister of light, and all she could see was the brave and noble heart. He was listening. No. He took his hand, and in that instant her wings vanished. The other sisters lunged raised their swords, and Harun see they meant to kill his former master. He will no longer harm you, he said. Please let him go. Send him on his way. The sisters looked from one to the other, then agreed, but they declared that the Maharaja must leave all he brought with him, the golden bow, the ruby-tipped arrow, flying craft of teeth, his only friend. One more thing, you must also leave humanity, cruelty behind, so that we can know and understand that Maharaja was heartbroken but agreed. The flying elephant glided down from his nest. With his trunk, he touched the Maharaja's forehead. All the vanity and cruelty went from him. Wish it were so easy, huh? But once these things were gone, there was little left. The Maharaja was as simple as a baby monkey. Once these things were gone, there was little left. He was just made up of vanity and cruelty. I love this person who wrote these books. The Maharaja was as simple as a baby monkey. In fact, he even cocking a tail and scampered away, speaking gibberish, shrinking to the size of an elephant. His vanity and cruelty would never be forgotten. The flying elephant had them, and an elephant never forgets. As for Harun and the beautiful sister of light, they were married and lived on the in Punjab High Low. Within a year, a child was born, a girl, selfless like her father, pure of heart like her mother. She was named Toothiana.